Welcome to Turn a Page, the official comic book club for Nerd Initiative. Each week, the NI Bullpen will be covering the world of comics, talking to creators, deep diving into some fantastic stories, and much more. Now let's hand it over to the team and turn a page.
Welcome to a very special edition of Nerd Initiative's Turn a Page, the comic book club on Nerd Initiative. My name is Ken M. You know me as the host of the ODPH podcast, but I'm also Nerd Initiative's editor-in-chief. To my right, your left at home, he does his own intro because it's in his contract.
Coming at you live and direct over land and sea and air. My name's Oscar Tom, Nerd Initiative, Possible Culture Connoisseur. Ken, Kelly, Marco, always a pleasure.
Absolutely. And when we say special edition, we absolutely mean it because one of the biggest universes at the comic shops is the Energon universe.
So full energy.
They've been crushing it since they debuted in Void Rivals and rolled into Transformers. And now we've been in the phases of getting introduced to one of the most elite fighting teams in all of pop culture history, G.I. Joe. Coming off the heels of Duke and Cobra Commander is the next phase in the Energon universe. Find it is just absolutely must-read material. We are so blessed to be gifted a member of the Freedom Trinity, as I like to call them in G.I. Joe, because we know Duke, we know Snake Eyes, but obviously Shauna O'Hara is a character that just kicks ass no matter what she does. And dropping June 5th via Skybound Entertainment and Image Comics is Scarlett #1. And on the line, we are very fortunate to have the creative team behind it. First, the writer of this series, you know her work from Black Widow, Birds of Prey, and one of the best books out last year, and I can't wait for it to return, Black Cloak. Kelly Thompson is on the line. Kelly, what's going on?
Not much. Thank you for that Black Cloak shout out especially. That made me full of joy.
Right, we have it, Ken.
Oh, it's one of my favorite series. I've been reviewing it since it dropped, and I'm completely blown away, and I'm counting down the days till August when it returns. Trust me.
Thank you so much. That's so kind.
No, absolutely. And also joining us from Frontiersman, a phenomenal artist, Marco Ferrari. Marco, what's happening with you?
Hi, thank you for having me. Doing fine, thanks.
Absolutely. So let us get into the series. I mean, like I say, the Energon universe has been absolutely crushing it. So for both of you, how did you get involved with the Energon universe?
I just got lucky. I mean, I think if you write enough badass female leads, they start to put your name on some lists. So I was on the right list at the right time to be considered for Scarlett. I think Joshua Williamson was probably a pretty good advocate for me over there. We've been talking for a while, and we had sort of finally I'd gotten on Birds of Prey while he was doing Green Arrow, which was fun. And so I think he probably advocated to bring me over to the Energon universe, which was super exciting because I'd read Void Rivals and I was like, okay, all right, I see you. I get it. All right, I'm in. And I think what they've been doing is really exciting. So I was honored to get to do this. Scarlett's one of my early geek loves in my life. So it was pretty freaking cool when people tell you, oh, hey, that thing you loved, you want to make the new version of it? And you're like, yes, thank you. You're also going to pay me? Excellent news.
my adventure is a little bit different because as you may have seen, I've done some variant covers for some other titles from the Energon universe, like Transformers Duke. I had done one for Cobra Commander 2. So when time came to build up the team for Scarlett, they told me, are you interested? And I was a little bit hesitant because I didn't know enough of the G.I. Joe universe, or at least at the time. And they convinced me with 2 words. They said that it will have ninja and it's going to happen in Japan. So I said, okay, I'm on board.
That works. Well, that absolutely works. Like I say, when readers get to see this issue, trust me, they're going to definitely see the passion you have for this too.
It cuts through like a katana. But, when we're both talking about fandoms, now, Marco, you were already alluding to the fact that you weren't completely familiar with the G.I. Joe franchise and everything. But, let's just say, where was your first taste of G.I. Joe?
My first taste is from the movies, from the recent years movies, actually. And as maybe some people looking at the shelves in the next days, it will be their first approach to the franchise, is the book. And I would say, it's totally fine to start getting to know the G.I. Joe team and the Energon universe with this book, because it's a fresh and new start, and it's an origin story. Kelly has written an origin story that it's not an origin and already put you into the action and makes you feel like you probably missed something, but actually you will have all the info you need to code up with the story as you progress.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Really,
it's Marco, I never really thought about it before, but it is sort of interesting because I do think it's very new reader friendly. Even if you're not super into Joe or Transformers lore, it really gives you what you need. But I also don't think it's very exposition heavy. And I wonder if a little bit of that is sort of a magical thing that comes from me having more history with it and Marco coming to it pretty like new and clean, which, it can be intimidating. I know I've been in that situation many times where you feel like you don't know enough about a property when you're starting up, but it does give you a really interesting perspective that you're not carrying as much baggage sometimes as maybe someone who's a hardcore fan of it. So maybe there's sort of like a really fun alchemy to how that worked for us. It certainly didn't seem to get in our way, which was great.
A good word, alchemy. I like that one.
Oh.
No, absolutely. I mean, and especially too, with being one of the most popular G.I. Joe characters of all time with Scarlett, was there a certain angle or take that you wanted to do? Because obviously we've seen Scarlett in the movies, we've seen Scarlett on the cartoons and animation. But for coming to the comic book form, and we've had the history of Scarlett throughout the years, was there anything special that you wanted to say, like, no, I want to make this my version of Scarlett and really make it stand out?
And if I can follow up with that, especially the design, she's a very different design than what we've seen over the past 30 years.
Yeah, Marco's design is incredible.
Oh my God, seriously, I'm yeah. Let's just say you need some water.
I mean, I'll leave the design question to Marco. Obviously, I think for me, the biggest thing is that I wanted it to be her story, but honestly, Skybound already sort of solved that by giving her own miniseries and calling it her miniseries. Like that sort of immediately solved the problem. So I didn't think I was coming in to like do something nobody could do, but I just wanted to make sure she was incredibly capable and stood on her own. I wanted us to see this hero that I loved as a kid, who's sort of this compassionate, capable person who's trying to save the world literally every day. That's all she gets up and does, is try to save the world. And that's amazing. So how could I show people this 2024 version of her that still encompasses all this stuff that I loved about her? I knew we weren't going to be able to use Snake Eyes as like a big co-lead or anything, because that's the biggest character in the world. Like you gotta roll that guy out on his own. So
don't make the obvious right.
Yeah. So I think I was looking for other touch point characters that I thought would really work with her and within this Arashikage focus story that we were doing. And so Jinx became one of those connections that I was able to just build out from. But that helped me lock into like what matters to Shayna and what she's in things for, a little bit of her like downtime, because she's so professional and together and like on missions. And like you said, it's a nonstop action. So we really had to carve out ways to show that other side of her and like what really matters to her beyond this job and everything. So I was really happy about that. For design, it's all Marco, man.
Yeah, I'm a toy collector. I came as a toy collector perspective. So usually when I design a characters, I think about how the action figures should look like, because probably I want to buy one of them. So
he's looking for the toyetic technique. I got it.
Yeah,
I know that word.
Well placed.
So when it comes to G.I. Joe, that it's a very historical series of toys, I had to, of course, look at the original design of the toys and all the rebrands and redesign they had. And it's been quite a back and forth to come out with the design we had, because I tried some bolder design with more changes and something different. But in the end, I think that the best was to keep what the main palette of the characters would have been, what really helped the reader look at them and instantly recognize them and make them like, with a sharp silhouette, already knew what characters you're looking at. And I tried to work on that. And of course, you have to bring them to the new century. So I try to make them look more sharp, more sci-fi, more technological with all their tools, but also keep in mind that they have to be those characters that everyone knows. And that's what I tried to do. I hope I accomplished that. But yeah, that's what I had in mind.
Oh, you absolutely knocked it out of the park. Like it just
Oh.
when readers see this, they're going to be blown away by it. Because not only is there a fantastic script, but the artwork just really jumps off the pages, and especially in the action sequences. And I'm not going to get into it because I want everybody to go out June 5th and buy this issue, buy multiple copies, and just divulge themselves, because really this is just one for, it's a great intro for new readers, and it's also for the classic fans. I mean, we talk about the lore of G.I. Joe, and I mean, you're seeing it right now in the Kickstarter campaign currently happening for the past issues.
2000%.
Yeah, which I mean, it just says the fan base is here for it. The fact that you're putting your own stamp on it, with nobody should be leaving the comic shop on Wednesday without. I'm sorry, like I am trying to hold my excitement back, and this is a very rare thing. And Tom is laughing about this.
This is great.
Yeah, because usually usually it's Tom doing this, but this is one issue. Like I said, when I got the chance to read it, I was just like,
yeah, our personal DM back and forth, like, oh my god, did you see that? Oh my god, did you see that? It was fantastic. Now, if I can just put this out here too, one about the Kickstarter, congratulations on that for everybody over at Skybound and Hasbro. But I'm just going to put this out in the universe to Hasbro. Marco said it. He was looking for the toyetic quality in these characters. We better start seeing these guys in the classified series. I'm putting it out there, all right, to our Hasbro overlords. Please and thank you. To all are one.
1,000,000%.
Anyway, so speaking about the series itself and how you've made it accessible for everybody to come in, what can you tell us about the series? What can we spoiler-free talk about?
Well, I mean, I think issue 1 sets up this mission very clearly. Like, she's there at basically trying to infiltrate Arashikaji, and it's multi-pronged in that the government is looking for a weapon. Of course they are. But Scarlett is looking for Jinx, and to solve that mystery, to help her friend. I mean, she didn't even know if she would be dead, find her dead. So it was, her spotting her in those opening pages and how that unfolds to her taking on this mission and like changing her whole life is, yeah, I mean, that's what the whole series is about. It really is a suicide mission. The action is incredibly intense, and it's not a thing you would have taken on, honestly, unless you had to, unless you really felt like, I can't rest without knowing what's happened to this person, without trying everything I can to get them back. So we tried to make it really personal for her. And there's also, it's dealt with less directly, but it talks more to the overarching stuff that's going on in the Energon universe, in that we can see that she's not satisfied with her job, both in how that opening scene goes for her and then the follow-up in her office with her boss, is that she's just not in the right spot, and she knows it. Like, here's this incredibly capable person, and they just feel like they're not being utilized correctly, and the world is falling apart, and she wants to fix it, and nobody will put her in the right place to do that. So it's really a woman searching for her partner, searching for, her sister that she calls her, and searching for herself and how she fits into this world. And it's exciting to think that because of everything everyone's building outside of the Scarlet book, it's all going to sort of come together for her, if she can survive.
About the character too, because you really see just her undeniable will during all this, because when things are evolving in the first part of the issue, and when she's getting told no about something, she is completely ignoring it because she knows that's the wrong answer, and she knows that something's wrong, like you alluded to. And that really kind of sets the tone for the character moving forward, that she sees the big picture while everybody's just seeing the small frame.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Scarlett's vibe, and probably any of the Joes before they get within the Joe unit that is doing what they really feel they need to be doing, they're all sort of rebels within whatever faction they're in. They're not working well. They're like oil and water with the thing they're in, because it's not working. It's why the Joes have to be created, right? Is that there isn't anything addressing this threat. There isn't anything looking at this threat the right way. So yeah, I think that's part of the fun, larger picture that we're driving toward, which is great.
With that said, without spoiling anything, was there a character that you both wanted to use for the story but couldn't, or you want to save for maybe a possible sequel that you can allude to?
I think we got, with the exception of one character, which I think is obvious and which I can't say more about. I think Jinx, and we get a little snow job in there. I wanted Roadblock, but like there's only room for so much, and Scarlett's mission is really more of a solo mission than a team scenario. So there wasn't really room for a lot of other guys to be like sitting around waiting for her to be ready to be picked up and evac'd. So there was a limited amount we could do in that respect. But like Jinx and Hardmaster, I think are pretty great and really fit. We get some Stalker in there, like that sets her on the path, sort of stuff like that. But yeah, that's, we wanted to keep it more organic and focused on her mission. So it's not going to be peppered with tons of cameos, although we probably get a Cobra one by the end, or some Cobra adjacent guys, something like that. So
he played in the toy box, but took all the toys that were on the ends of the pegs because everybody got the real one. Oh, I want that one. I want that one. No, you got the real good ones as far as I'm concerned.
That was the other thing. It's like, everyone's reaching for things, and you can only elbow people out of the way so much. Like, it was easy for me to make a case for getting Jinx because that was the pitch, right? It was all rotating around Arashikachi. So that was easy. I didn't have to fight too hard to get those, but you do want to leave some for other people. And how Hasbro and Skybound want to dole these out are very targeted and specific to sort of maximize reader enjoyment and the building of that universe in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming too fast. I think that's why I find it really interesting. Not only have the quality of the books all been really good, but instead of just launching G.I. Joe, by launching several miniseries that show it building up, it's a really cool way to do it.
Absolutely. And like I say, when readers pick this up on June 5th, they're going to be absolutely blown away by this. And when this series wraps up, we definitely want to talk to you both about this series again, because like I say, trust me when I am saying this. This is a book you can't walk out of the comic shops. See, I'm getting so fired up, I'm knocking the microphone over. This never happens, but this is how much I really believe in this book. So when I'm saying, when you're going down to the comic shops, Scarlett #1 by Image Comics and Skybound Entertainment needs to be in your collection. Kelly and Marco, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk with us. We definitely have to do this again.
Thanks so much for having us.
Like we end on Turn a Page each and every time when you have a great issue in hand, such as Scarlett #1 by Skybound and Image Comics, and you see somebody struggling at the shop, hand yours off to them, tell them turn a page. We'll see you next time.
It's such waste of time, swiping left and swiping right on people you could know. 'Cause anyone who's worth a damn be worth way more than a picture could ever show. You could find the right light, find the right angle, and never find your soul. And it can feel like a losing battle, and this plot is full of holes. This modern way of finding love just makes me feel so alone. And I can't be the only one sick of staring at my phone. So look up, talk to me, a better way to spend our energy. Just look up, talk to me. We don't have to float alone on the open sea. Don't know that I believe in the old time fable. Everyone has just one true love. All I know is you're across this table, and you're all I'm thinking of. So look up, talk to me, a better way to spend our energy. Just look up, talk to me. We don't have to float alone on the open sea. Talk to me. Talk to me. It's such waste of time, swiping left and swiping right on people you could know.